Yes, sorry, yeah. This is Lyra. She was born Thanksgiving morning, November 25th. I had actually been having contractions Monday and Tuesday, but they were so like weird and sporadic, and they weren't intensifying or anything. And I thought it was like pre-labor or whatever. I didn't really think it was anything.
Really bad back pain.
That wasn't until Wednesday. So then Wednesday morning, I'm on my way to work, and Eric goes, "You really should call Jan, the midwife, and talk to her about this." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I probably should." I called her, and she's like, "You need to go home and rest." She was very, very
As
adamant.
we're on the way to work.
Yeah, we're driving on our way to work. So I turn around, we go home, I try to sleep, and the contractions still just aren't really doing anything. They're, 7 minutes apart, and then 11 minutes apart, and then 12 minutes apart, and finally, after I got up from my nap in the evening, things started to progress. By about 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, the contractions weren't following a pattern at all, but my back pain was starting to get so bad that I couldn't sleep. And finally at quarter to 12, about 12:30, I said to Eric, "I can't deal with it anymore." I said, "You have to call Jan and find out what we should be doing." And I couldn't talk on the phone. The pain was so bad. In my back, pretty much was the worst of it.
Is it really low when it's back?
Yeah, it was awful. So by the time we finished getting our stuff together, because of course I'm not prepared for this, so I have most of my stuff packed, but not all of it. And I'm telling Eric, like, this is in this room and this is in this room. He's throwing things into the car while I'm like laying in bed going, "Oh God, it hurts." And we got to the birth center about 2 in the morning, and I was birthing on the bed because we were waiting for the tub to still fill up, because Jan had only gotten there like a half an hour before us. And while we're waiting for the tub to fill up, I'm, arcing my back and saying, "I don't know what to do." And Eric was wonderful and just kept telling me to relax and rubbing my back and putting pressure on my back. And when I got in the tub, that was finally when I was able to relax. And by then I was actually sleeping through the contractions when I was in the tub.
Before that, you could see her backbone, her sacrum, actually come up like this. So I was just trying to push it back in the whole time, as much as I could. But
she was totally positioned wrong. She had turned at some point. But by the time I got to the birth center, I was already, almost 5 centimeters dilated. So we were well on our way to getting things done. But then the tub really helped with the back pain.
she hits the tub and she's out like a light, and Jan's out like a light over on the bed. So I'm sitting here, the only one awake, trying to hold her head out of the water.
Really? Yeah.
Well, nothing was really happening, so you're just sitting around
waiting for things to happen. So, are you gonna get hungry? And then, what was it, about 5:30, 6 o'clock? I said I had to get out of the tub, I needed to go to the bathroom, and I kept asking Jan, like, my whole thing was, do you think it's getting close to when I can push yet? Do you think I'm almost done yet? And she goes, I don't know, you'll know when you're ready to push, you'll tell me. Well, I got up to go to the bathroom, I got out of the tub, and I was like, oh, I think I need to push. And I ended up pushing multiple positions from the bed.
I used to go to the bathroom, is that why?
Yeah, I think that's, like I got up to go to the bathroom, and then while I was going to the bathroom, I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I need to push more. And pushed sideline from my back. I used the birthing stool. We did a whole like route of, like I kept like I would do 2 or 3 rounds of pushing, and then I would move to a different position. And
well, she finally turned probably about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, right before I started to push, I think.
Because there was relief then, that's how you knew.
Yeah.
Well, she could also
Jan
was trying to feel. Yep.
And
at one point she was trying to actually get her to turn. So.
Then I pushed for an hour and a half, and she was slightly tilted. She was acyclitic, so she came out with a nice little welt on one side. I don't remember which side it was. So yeah, 7:30 in the morning. So it was about, if you don't count like Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday,
You don't count those.
when I had the contractions most of the day and night, my actual labor was about 12 hours. So.
She did great.
Yeah.
Is that her singing?
Yeah, she's making money. She's getting hungry. And the birth center was wonderful. The midwife was wonderful. And
Coral made us breakfast.
yes. She came Thanksgiving morning.
Wow.
You know?
Pretty sick.
The best Thanksgiving ever.
Then we got home and went to sleep, and I put a ham in the oven. We woke up to
Glad you
burnt
did
ham in the oven.
Wake up 37 hours later. It's big.
Well, I put the timer on the oven, but it must have been longer than it should have been.
You were
It was
sleeping.
black. We threw the pan in the garbage, everything.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, how's it going?
You know, except for the back labor. I mean, I see when you talked about wanting to keep your baby in the right
Yeah,
position.
smile.
You want to
Like
keep the
Bill
baby
smile
in the
at him,
right
he smiles
position.
back now.
Back labor was no.
Yeah, pretty decent.
No.
I kept asking my doctors, is my baby in the right position? Because I was really concerned about sleeping on my lap. And I had this doctor who's kind of an asshole. And he goes, well, it doesn't really matter. Your baby's going to turn all over. And I'm like, that's not what Carl
Cameron.
That's right. You put him in your place, didn't you?
I did. A few times. I'll tell you about the second time when it's like, what's her name again?
Lyra.
Isn't that
I
pretty?
did.
L